I think that there's probably a lot of people that were around in the 2008 space. And when 2008 hit, I was doing fix and flips. And, when the market crashed and, there just wasn't lenders lending money, you couldn't flip anything. So here we were, you could still buy, you could acquire it. However, offloading it became a little tricky. So that's really kind of where the whole opportunity became. At the time, talk about kind of a huge kick in the gut, right? You're just like, you're looking at all these assets you're accumulating, and it's a slow road to get it back through monthly rent. But looking at it now, I think at one time we had over 50 rental homes. Dialed it back. I've gotten older and time has become more valuable, but we're still sitting at about 20 of our rental houses. And, it became a blessing, but at the time it was quite a scramble to figure out how to facilitate getting, renters into them and paying the bills. And you have a $30,000 to $50,000 upfront cost of renovations, but you can only get that back at a few $100s a month.
Welcome to the Real Estate Pros Show, where we interview real estate investing professionals from coast to coast, as well as the service providers that serve the real estate investing industry. Our goal is simple: share what's working now to help you improve and scale your business to the next level and meet the pros that can help you get there. Real Estate Pros is powered by Investor Fuel, America's leader in helping real estate investors and professionals build the business you need to live the life you've always dreamed of. Let's start today's show. Property insurance for real estate investors doesn't have to be difficult, but it does need to be there to protect you when you need it. MyInvestorInsurance.com not only provides insurance at 15 to 30% cheaper than traditional agencies, it's built specifically for real estate investors like you. You can set up an account in about 2 minutes, get quotes on properties, turn on and turn off insurance for your fix and flip or rental properties in around 2 minutes without having to talk to anyone directly, all through our portal. There's no better way or faster way to make sure you've got the coverage you need to protect you, and no more lengthy policies either. Once you're set up, you're billed monthly and prorated by the day for however long your policy is active. It's powered by MSI, the third largest independent MGA, with 1.5 million customers and more than $1 billion in cumulative premiums written. Get set up today in about 2 minutes at myinvestorinsurance.com/fuel.
Hey everyone, welcome to the Investor Fuel podcast. I'm your host, Michelle Kesil. Today I'm joined by someone I've been looking forward to chatting with, Scott Cooper, who's been making serious moves in the construction and renovation space. So excited to have you here on the show today, Scott.
Thanks, Michelle. Excited to be here.
Awesome. I think the listeners are really going to take something away from how you're approaching your construction and restoration business. So yeah, let's dive in.
Absolutely.
Awesome. First off, for those who are not familiar with you and your world, can you give a short version of what your main focus is?
So we do property investments with some new construction, some renovation type properties, but we also have a restoration company that complements that. So it allows us to do more of our property repairs in-house.
Awesome. And what markets do you operate in?
We're in the Des Moines market, so we're central Iowa.
Awesome. Yeah, and can you share a little bit about some specific services that you provide and what kind of people do you help and the projects that you offer?
Absolutely. So we have kind of two sections to our business. One is on the property side where we have realtors and trust attorneys, stuff like that, that'll give us leads and we get to reach out and try to acquire different properties. And in that business, of course, some properties we hold and rent, or some of the properties we actually fix and flip. Then on the other side is our restoration company, where we have a variety of clients that are not just from our in-house projects, but are, seeking construction services. So it gives our team a lot of opportunity to stay busy so we can feed some of our own work in, but also in those months where projects are in between, we have a nice client base that keeps the guys busy.
Stop living on an island and join the #1 mastermind in America for professional real estate investors. Investor Fuel is a community of hundreds of the nation's top investors working together to build stronger businesses and better lives. In addition to the amazing community of real estate investors acting as a board of advisors for one another, Investor Fuel members have access to 100% funding on purchase and repairs for our members only, a health insurance program, and benefits and discounts that more than pays for the membership of most of our members, meaning it's actually costing you money to not be a member of Investor Fuel. If you're looking to scale your business and build a business that allows you to live the life of your dreams, please visit investorfuel.com today and book a call with our team.
And what's been the key to keeping your business running smoothly?
I would say partnerships, whether it's partnerships with other vendors, partnerships with different lead sources and stuff like that. They're really, that old saying, that giver's gain kind of thing. Help somebody out and they'll help you out. So that's really been key for us. We don't spend a lot on advertising. We definitely do a lot of referral based type services.
Awesome. And what got you started in this business?
That's a great question. So I take you back almost 24 years ago. I was doing construction work and I really loved it, but I've always had a passion for getting into the homeowner space. So I bought my first home and went ahead and took out a home equity line of credit and bought my first investment property. They're doing a few of them and I learned kind of the struggles of, working with contractors and getting them to show up and everything else. I just knew one day I wanted to be able to have, another company to complement the real estate investment. So eventually I kept plugging away and plugging away. And, we were able to put one together. It was great. My son is a partner in that company. And so, another exciting part of it is getting to work with family.
Yeah, absolutely. I love that. Oh, let me ask you this. Everyone has a moment in their business where things got more real. Maybe a deal went sideways or you had to make a fast pivot. Would you mind sharing one of those moments that you've experienced?
Absolutely. So I will tell you, and I think that there's probably a lot of people that were around in the 2008 space. And when 2008 hit, I was doing fix and flips. And, when the market crashed and, there just wasn't lenders lending money, you couldn't flip anything. So here we were, you could still buy, you could acquire it. However, offloading it became a little tricky. So that's really kind of where the whole opportunity became. At the time, talk about kind of a huge kick in the gut, right? You're just like, you're looking at all these assets you're accumulating and it's a slow road to get it back through monthly rent. But looking at it now, I think at one time we had over 50 rental homes. Dialed it back. I've gotten older and time has become more valuable, but we're still sitting at about 20 of our rental houses. And, it became a blessing, but at the time it was quite a scramble to figure out how to facilitate getting renters into them and paying the bills. And you have a $30,000 to $50,000 upfront cost of renovations, but you can only get that back at a few $100s a month.
Yeah, absolutely. And what did you learn from this experience?
Always be fluid, this again, you don't know what you don't know, right? But I feel that had we had stayed determined on trying to flip, the outcome would have been a lot more difficult. I think we would have had a lot tougher go at it. But because being flexible and seeing, hey, at least if we get renters in there, the property's occupied, it's, it's generating revenue. It's a slow growth model, but it's generating the revenue to where we can, facilitate selling it later. And that was that was big. That was a big moment for us.
If you're looking for consistent, high-quality leads, look no further than Investor Machine. Investor Machine isn't just another agency. It's the most sophisticated, data-driven lead generation company on the planet for real estate investors, and serves the role of being not just a lead generator for your business, but a marketing partner that is helping you achieve your goals along the way. Go to investormachine.com to learn more and schedule a call with our team today.
Yeah, absolutely. So, what are you most focused on solving or scaling next?
Our renovation company is really what we're really pushing to scale. We see a kind of a hole in this space that we're trying to fill, and we feel like it's got the ability to be a model to duplicate in other markets.
Yeah, can you expand on that? Like, what's the hole that you see and what's the model?
Yeah. So what we've really taken on a lot in the last, I'd say 24 months has been kitchen and bathroom renovations. So although there's some people in that space, we feel that there's a lot more volume of work out there that has not been, the needs haven't been met. And so as we're pushing through, I mean, our close ratio on on our kitchen and bathroom designs, are 60, 70% on a lot of them. The margins are great. Of course, as long as nothing goes wrong.
Right. Makes sense. So, are you mostly like working with investors and new home buyers who are your primarily targeting?
So it's mostly residential homeowners. And, although we talked earlier on about interest rates being of, most investors' concern in the renovation space, although it affects people because, they want to borrow money at the lowest rate available, right? But at the same time, they're also looking at it going, okay, well, we want to move because we're not in love with our home anymore. However, the cost to move now is more significant than if they just make the home lovable again, right? New kitchen, new bathroom, maybe a room addition. And so they're willing to spend, 75,000 to 125,000 renovating the home that they already have versus what they're going to lose, especially with people that were locked in at the 3%, 3.5% interest rates on their first mortgage. They can do a second mortgage at today's interest rate and essentially make the house as new as possible, right? With updating all these areas. So that's where we're starting to see, I think we're seeing a really big influx on that.
Yeah, amazing. And do you support investors in any way through this process or with the construction?
We do, because within our renovation, we also are certified for mold remediation and water damage. And so we do work with a handful of investors that were just, blindsided. They pulled down some paneling, or they went to demo a flip, right? And they all of a sudden run into some mold damage or some significant water damage, and sometimes structural. And so, yeah, we come in, we complement those guys and help them work through that challenge. And it's been good. It's always good to have a nice blend of those types.
Yeah, absolutely. And the construction side of your business, like what does kind of that process look like?
So, I'm assuming you're referring to the construction on like our flip and our investment property type stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
So again, opportunity, right? And so about 5 years ago, I managed to come across some land in a part of the Des Moines suburb that actually has tax abatements. And we started looking at it because, of course, fix and flips were getting a little tricky to find. There was just so many people gobbling them up, and we didn't have the foreclosure rate that we had previous years. Being able to find some of this land that has tax abatements. So we started building some new construction projects and having them as long-term investment. But with that tax abatement for our area, it's a 5 year. And so even though, we have the initial upfront, $300,000, $400,000 build cost, the 5 years with the savings on property tax, it just makes the profit margins much better on that rental.
If you're a new or newer real estate investor looking to launch or grow your real estate investing business, please check out Investor Fuel Club. It's a coaching community, but unlike anything you've ever seen before. And you can actually partner with members of our mastermind from coast to coast on deals right in your market. There's no better opportunity to build a consistent business than to literally partner with pros to help you avoid costly mistakes, avoid the need for capital to do deals, and help you eliminate your fears as you're starting your business. Learn more about Investor Fuel Club at investorfuel.com/club.
Yeah, amazing. So are these like your own rentals or are these other people's rentals?
So all the ones that we're doing builds on, they're our own personal build. I mean, they're owned by our company, but they're not. We're not design build for an outside client. These are all for us to utilize in our essentially in our portfolio.
Awesome. So, what is the next big goal that you have?
Our next big goal with, on the construction side is we're kind of modest. We're only wanting to do maybe 2 or 3 of our investment properties per year and just kind of keep that as a slow growth model. But on our restoration side, the big thing for us is reaching into a new market, bringing that model into a new market. And that's what we're hoping within the next 24 months to be able to do that.
What is that new market like? You mean outside of your current territory?
Yeah, correct. We want to get right now we service within about 30 miles of our town, and we really want to expand beyond that. We want to, we would love to get a location, 60, 75 miles. We haven't pinned the map yet to see exactly which direction we're going to go, but I think in the next 12 months we're really going to look at the research and see what town, what area would be best suited, a with the needing the market presence, but also accessibility, where we can staff it and such.
Yeah, amazing. And do you have a lot of employees? Like kind of what is like your team structure look like?
So we have about 5 employees at the moment, and we could certainly probably bring on 2 more when we're actively recruiting and searching for those people. But it is tough. I'm sure most owners out there would totally relate to the difficulty of recruiting good staff. And so we do utilize contractors to help facilitate some of our services. Whenever possible, we love to keep it in-house.
So I know a lot of people listening to this show are earlier on in their journey or looking to level up. And when it comes to growing your business and building your network, what do you feel has made the biggest difference for you?
I feel like there's 2 components there that have been really great for us, and one is your team, your people, and we don't just say that as a just an exciting topic. We really mean it. We like to bring in people that essentially, I mean, in my opinion, I say we only hire people that I would trust at my home by themselves, right? And so we're selective in that regard, but it's also, really do promote that team atmosphere and people that want to be a part of that. And then the other side of it is, and it's great to have a great team and that all works, but without customers, they're not going to last, right? Because we all have to have a paycheck, right? We all have to, pay our bills. So, the second component of that is good customers. And I had heard somebody, a while back say, there's no such thing as a bad customer. It was just a bad business owner or a bad manager that didn't meet their expectations. And I would say there's a lot of truth to that, but there are some people that you just, those customers that you just can't meet that expectation. You're just incapable of it. And in those, it's like shark infested waters, right? You need to steer clear of those. And sometimes you don't see the warning signs until it's too late. But definitely, if any of the listeners out there, when you're meeting with your customers, especially early on, and when I say customers, whether you're in the construction field or you're an investor, not every investment is meant to be yours. And to speak on that, I would tell you I had moments of where I had a great bid. The home was I was going to lock it up. I was going to have a lot of potential revenue and income from it. And I was trying to force a square peg through a round hole. The more I was in there, I was learning, wait a minute. Now an inspection shows the sewer's bad. And then I didn't notice that the electrical. And so, but the more I kept going, oh, that's just 10 grand. Oh, that's just 5 grand. And then I didn't walk when I should have. And it come back to bite me. Right. And so I had to learn it's okay to say, this is my break point and walk. And that's for the best.
Yeah, I think that's an important lesson. Are there any other lessons that you've learned from this journey that would benefit people to share?
Well, again, and it depends on their journey, right? Whether it's they're specific, whether they're on the construction side or if they're in the investment space or they want to become landlord, right? I have a lot of battle scars, so to speak, when it comes to working with tenants, and that's going to be really tough for everyone, state to state, right? Because your state laws are going to dictate how difficult it can be to work with individual renters. And fortunately for us, we're kind of in the middle of it. We're our tenant landlord laws aren't too stringent, but they're a little more tougher than some. And so I would say that on that side of it, it's okay to walk away from a potential tenant. um, just like a customer. I mean, really, I can tell you time after time where early on I just kept trying to force it, going. I needed that job because I wanted that customer to say yes, and I should have taken it. I shouldn't have approved a tenant to move in. When they go, oh yeah, they call you up on a Thursday, and this is a true story. Called me up on a Thursday, and they were ready to move in, had cash in hand and everything else, and they moved in. Well, when they showed up with cash in hand, they just had the deposit. So then they wrote a check for their first month's rent. Well, that rent check bounced. I let them move in that next day, but they're moving in there, and now they have resident rights. So here I've got somebody, I'm trying to chase them around for a bad check that they don't have the money for. So again, I know you hear a lot of people talk about, know when to say no, and even I'd hear stories and I'd always look the other way. But yeah, your time will be better spent if you do say no sometimes, and you know, chase the customers or chase the projects that aren't going to be a headache and a hassle.
Yeah, that's a good one. Awesome. So before we wrap up here, if there's anyone that wants to connect and learn more from you, what's the best place that they can find you?
Oh, we have our YouTube channel, and you can always check that out. And then my email is scott@maxrestoration.com.
Perfect. Well, listen, I appreciate your time, your story, and perspective. So thank you again for being here.
Absolutely, and thanks for having me. It was a lot of fun.
Awesome. And for those of you tuning in, if you got value from this, make sure that you've subscribed. We have more conversations coming with operators just like Scott who are building real businesses. And we'll see you all on our next episode.
Thanks for joining us for today's Real Estate Pros Show. You can learn more about the amazing benefits of the Investor Fuel Mastermind community, including surrounding yourself with hundreds of other rock stars, 100% financing for your deals, and members-only discounts from vendors you're likely already using that, as a member of Investor Fuel, will save you more than the cost of your membership. Visit investorfuel.com to learn more. If you're interested in joining us as a guest of this show, please visit investorfuel.com/pros to apply. You can also check the show notes for access to free resources, how to get access to world-class lead generation, and much more. Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss another episode. Have a great day. We'll see you on the next show.